Imagine getting stuck with a 23% interest rate on a $23,000 loan. If you paid that through to term over 72 months, let's say, you're easily spending $40,000. So although they did see an uptick in the sales volume this last quarter, it's almost like a placebo effect to some degree, because they did see a huge uptick in the number of repossessions, right? The number of people who defaulted on the loans that were issued by Carmax. Clear bra mask residue that seems to have botched up that front end. That's where Carmax comes in. Carmax has the ability to issue loans out, auto loans out, to people who maybe wouldn't qualify from a traditional dealership. 6,000 miles on it, holy cow. That is quite the gem at a Carmax. 49 grand, only 1,000 a person. They're like, no way, Jose, after driving it just for 1,000 miles. Love these. Let's see how much they want for it. Tell you what, I would put my money on this 2013 way before I bought that 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Huge number of auto loan delinquencies. People are just not paying for their vehicles. And well, a few garbage trucks over here. Bop, bop. Bop, bop. Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So I'm out in front of a Carmax right now, and I like to visit them at least once a quarter to get a really good feel and idea of where they are currently standing. So I looked at their recently published report of their last quarter, and tell you what, they're definitely sounding an alarm of what the US economy is truly looking like right now. This is actually the most bare bones and scarce I've ever seen this particular lot. What is that saying? In today's video, we're going to dig into those details. The beautiful part about the automotive industry is everything has a second and third order effect. They all kind of play on each other. There's a ripple effect that takes place. And I've talked about it recently, but as of the last 2 months, 1 out of 5 auto loans that were applied for by Americans were denied by banking institutions. So 1 out of 5 were denied. What does that mean? That means a lot of people are just not having the sufficient credit or putting enough down to purchase a vehicle and actually successfully acquiring a loan. That's where Carmax comes in. Carmax has the ability to issue loans out, auto loans out, to people who maybe wouldn't qualify from a traditional dealership. And that plays to their benefit. For that same reason, we are seeing a huge uptick in auto loan delinquencies and repossessions. There was a 23% increase in repossessions just this year, and that's already a tremendous uptick from last year's already staggering statistic itself. So huge number of auto loan delinquencies. People are just not paying for their vehicles. And unfortunately, by Carmax offering so many auto loans out there and getting people to actually buy their vehicles, even with terrible credit scores, they're running a huge risk. I hate to say it like this, but generally speaking, people who buy from Carmax, it is their last resort, right? That means they've already gone through a number of Ford dealerships, GM dealerships, Chevy, whatever it is, and they just haven't been able to get approved. And by that stat I just mentioned, 1 out of 5 being denied, well, those 1 out of 5 still need a vehicle, right? And they'll come here as the last resort to hopefully get approved, which their chances of getting approved are much higher. However, it's a double-edged sword, because when you look at the interest rates that they charge here, if approved through Carmax in-house, it is not good whatsoever. So we got a few different 4Runners over here, each of them TRD Pros. You got a couple 2019s, the black ones here. Kind of crazy, I don't know. I just have a hard time justifying that kind of price tag, 45 grand, for a 5-year-old 4Runner TRD Pro with 46,000 miles on it. That just feels a bit extreme. You know, even if it is, this one seems to be in excellent condition. This one here has a clear bra mask residue that seems to have botched up that front end, which is kind of shocking to see that they want more for this one. 47,000, same 2019 4Runner TRD Pro with barely less miles, 2,000 less. I don't know about that. And to be honest, I'm kind of shocked to see so many 3rd generation Toyota Tacomas here. I would have expected maybe a few more 4th gens at this point, although to be fair, it's still kind of early, right, to be seeing so many of them here. But this new Tacoma here has a 4-banger underneath the hood that is wildly underwhelming for a lot of people, and people are actually jumping back to the naturally aspirated V6s within the previous generation Tacomas. Let's see how much they want for this one, just out of curiosity. They want 49 grand. Only 1,000 a person. They're like, no way, Jose, after driving it just for 1,000 miles. I wonder if this is an example where the automatic transmission failed. So normally speaking, this entire row all the way around would be full of trucks, and although mostly trucks on this side, it's actually pretty bare bones and vacant over there, which is a good sign for Carmax, because that shows that they are actually moving the inventory. Let's check out this GMC Canyon AT4 real quick. Just as a comparison to that Tacoma, 44 grand with 4,000 miles on it, a 2023. I don't know about that. And well, a few garbage trucks over here, bop bop, bop bop, and well, a couple trusty brutes anyway. These two having the 5.7 liter V8 in them. I love this. We got a Rock Warrior here. Let's get a look at this one. Love these. Let's see how much they want for it. Probably 2012 or 2013. 2013. 25 grand with 106,000 miles on it. Kind of wild, huh? But I tell you what, I would put my money on this 2013 way before I bought that 2024 Toyota Tacoma. So this past quarter, Carmax demonstrated a lack of market share recovery, meaning there is a low confidence in the ability of Carmax to sustain high yield within their stock and be able to recover when it dips down quickly. So that's what they demonstrated, and that's what's being annotated by stock and shareholders. So although they did see an uptick in the sales volume this last quarter, it's almost like a placebo effect to some degree, because they did see a huge uptick in the number of repossessions, right? The number of people who defaulted on the loans that were issued by Carmax. So their loan loss provisions went up tremendously over the last few months. We talk about it plenty, but people are just struggling right now. Between the high cost of living, the cost of groceries, cost of insurance, cost of rent and mortgage, people just can't keep up. And the first thing that people fail on generally is their auto loans, especially when you stick them with a 7 to 12% interest rate. And well, many of these and many of the typical buyers of these vehicles at Carmax, they're getting stuck with an even higher interest rate than that. Let's check one out. So we got a few RAV4s over here, got a couple there, one right there. Let's check out this older generation here. This is a 2016 RAV4 XLE hybrid. $23,000 is what they want for it, 69,000 miles on it. But look at this right here. Imagine getting stuck with a 23% interest rate on a $23,000 loan. If you paid that through to term over 72 months, let's say, you're easily spending $40,000 for a $23,000 vehicle that's depreciating each month. Kind of wild, huh? So what up? Say what up.
What up?
Say what up. Do you guys remember not that long ago, you used to be able to buy a lightly used vehicle and save tremendously on the sales price, right, compared to buying new? That kind of went to the wayside during the pandemic. Oftentimes, lightly used vehicles, especially desirable trims, cost MSRP or even higher in some cases, right? But not anymore. We're starting to teeter back to the quote-unquote good old days of being able to buy a used vehicle and actually save a lot of money, as it should be. Let me make that clear. We're starting to teeter that direction. We saw a 10 to 12% drop in wholesale prices throughout this last quarter. So, generally speaking, that lags behind in the retail market or the consumer market for you and I buying a vehicle 3 to 4 months. So maybe come February timeframe, you'll be able to buy a vehicle for even less than what you're seeing here. That's the hope anyway. And to be honest, I'm kind of shocked to see a couple of Ford Mavericks over here and this one Ford Ranger. The Mavericks in particular have actually been selling decently throughout the last couple of quarters here. Let's check out this Ranger to see how much they want for it. This is a 2021 Ranger XL for $29,000, 5,000 miles on it. So really just for about $3,000 or $4,000 more, you can still buy this brand new. And let's peek at the Mavericks for fun too, real quick. A 2022 Maverick Lariat, 27,000 with 80,000 miles on it. At first I was like, okay, that's not a terrible price, but then I saw the mileage. No thank you. Let's check out the other one real fast after a drive-by bugaboo feature. 2024 Maverick XLT for $35,000. Well, the mileage is at least semi-appropriate on this one anyway. This right here is what drives a lot of people nuts. You can't come in here and negotiate just a little bit, especially, you know, they're still teetering toward the higher mark on the pricing, although better, I'll be fair, you still need to be able to negotiate a little bit. The thing that baffles me is if you have good or even excellent credit, why would you consider buying from Carmax? You can't negotiate with them, and you're going to get stuck with still a pretty awful interest rate. Why would you buy this when you can get a brand new vehicle probably for $10,000 to $15,000 off of MSRP right now? That's not too uncommon. That's not unheard of right now. And get an incentivized interest rate at like 1.9% over 72 months. That is very much doable. So I don't understand why anyone with great credit would pop in here and try to buy one of these used vehicles and not save all that much comparatively to a new vehicle. All right, now we got the big boy lineup over here in the corner. So we got an LX 570 here. I haven't looked at it just yet. I'm gonna wager if it's a 2018 or 2019, high 40s is what my guesstimate is. Let's check it out. Let's see how far off I am. And not terribly far off. 52,000 is a 2018 LX 570, 79,000 miles on it. I would still wager that this should be within the 40s, high 40s to be fair. So we've talked about it plenty, but the average negative equity that an American holds on their auto loan right now is right about $7,000. So they owe $7,000 more than what it's currently worth. I'd be truly curious to know how that $7,000 negative equity stacks up truly if you were to come in here and try to sell your vehicle. I wonder if it would teeter up to $9,000 real quick, because in order for Carmax to be competitive, in order for them to drop their prices, they need to be offering you pennies on the dollar for your vehicle purchase if they're going to try to make that profit margin of $2,100 to $2,300 work for every single one of their vehicles. So let me know, just out of sheer curiosity, if you've taken your vehicle to Carmax for a buy offer recently, what did that buy offer look like? Was it fair, or was it just pennies on the dollar? Always try to look for the cheapest vehicle on the lot, and this just might be it. We have a 2013 Honda Accord EXL for $15,000, just under 100,000 miles. I don't know, what do you think? It's a Honda at the end of the day, there's goodness there. Scratch that, I found the two cheapest over here. Here we have this old Mitsubishi G4 ES Mirage for $12,599 with 84,000 miles. Then this here, we have a Fiat 500. Having lived in Italy for a little bit, I do have a small level of appreciation for this car. $12,000 for this 2015 Fiat 500 Sport. How about that? So you guys tell me, Carmax, they're selling more inventory, but they're cutting loans out to nearly everybody. Everybody who is unable to get a loan for a new vehicle, which, like I mentioned, 20% are being denied those auto loans for new purchases. Whereas Carmax is just kind of handing them out like candy, but they're seeing the adverse effect of that with people suffering from auto loan delinquencies and ultimately repossessions. So they're getting back a lot of vehicles that are not cared for whatsoever, but then they try to resell them and they have to cut the prices of them even more because, well, if the person didn't care enough to pay for the vehicle, they likely didn't care enough to maintain it. Here is a prime example of this Ford Fusion here. Let me know if you spot it before I mention it. Right here, you can probably tell, but the back door here was clearly hit and then repaired, and kind of a sloppy job. A lot of orange peel to that repaint and respray. You see it there. Let's see how much they want for it. And I wonder if it'll show a clean Carfax. $19,000 with 54,000 miles for this 2019 Ford Fusion SE. Even that side has some fixes to it, but this one's pretty bad. Tell me if you can see it. I actually really like these vehicles. They're kind of hard to come by. Chevy didn't make all that many of them, and they're just wicked fast. The Chevy SS. Let's check out how much they want for it. 2017 Chevy SS, 45 grand. That's pretty typical these days. For 31,000 miles, that's kind of what I've been seeing. So this might just be fairly priced. You tell me. We have an Audi SQ5. These are pretty neat. Fortunately, nowhere near big enough for our large family, but they're still pretty cool. 2019 Audi S5 Prestige for $35,000 with 39,000 miles. I like these. Is it worth that premium? I'd say we're still a few grand overpriced on this one. And here's the rotting section over here. This is the EV section. And well, EVs just are not selling across the board. Tesla is definitely leading the pack, but all other EVs are really suffering and bringing down vehicle manufacturers when it comes to their total sales figures. And we have the fun toy section over here. This often is the leading culprits of repossessions. This is a Z06 Chevy Corvette, 6,000 miles on it. Holy cow. That is quite the gem at a Carmax. Let me know what you think of that price. Alright guys, I'll wrap up the video there. As always, I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to tune into these videos. What do you honestly think? Is Carmax really sounding the alarm right now? You know, they're moving a ton of inventory, but they're issuing loans out to nearly anyone right now at their own detriment. Getting that, 24% interest rate? If they're not good enough to buy a new vehicle and earn that 1.9% interest rate, what tells you that they're going to be able to pay those astronomical figures every single month with those kind of interest rates? We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot here with this recipe. What do you think? If you value this type of video or this type of content, please let me know in the comment section, and please consider liking and subscribing if you'd like to see more. Appreciate you watching as always. Until next time.